All right, we are live. Stacy, if you want to do your disclaimer.
The city of Sarasota is not responsible for any recording or live streaming of this negotiation session. Any recording or live streaming responsibility belongs to the recorder, and the city will not answer any public records requests, as we are not the owner of the live stream or video.
All right, so we discussed it. We would appreciate a little bit more changing in the numbers between the two sides and trying to work more towards the middle, but we understand that it's your final offer. In the interest of trying to progress things on a timetable which is beneficial or mutually beneficial to both the city and the union, we are going to TA your last proposal. But then obviously, and just reiterating for anybody that's watching on this stream, the ratification vote does have to happen from the membership. And we'll start making that happen tonight at the quarterly meeting, and try to communicate that to you within the time frame needed to get this with the September 1st deadline. Now, Stacy, you said you both were out next week. If we communicate these things to you, that doesn't have to be done in a publicly posted meeting or forum, and we could digitally transmit and communicate the outcome of a vote, and you would have all the documents so that it would make September 1st deadline, barring any kind of unforeseen major catastrophe.
Yes, that is correct. So if we get a TA today, we can use that material. There would be an additional MOU that you and I would want to look at and make sure we sign, but we can do that when we regroup after the holiday and re-add that to the agenda item a little bit later. Our deadline, what did we just look at, the 5th, September 5th?
I believe
is kind of the final where we'd have to sign MOU.
I believe, did Jeff with the lieutenants, did they vote without that MOU done?
They voted with the MOU unsigned. So he had the MOU to see, but they had the articles, the TA.
Is there, just on the record of us verbally, is there any differences that we would need to be aware of that would be different from the lieutenants? We would want to stipulate to the same, I guess, issues that Jeff brought up as far as not having the extension of the FRS stuff. So we would just basically like to mimic that MOU, obviously with the corrected language of officers and sergeants to lieutenants. Is there any reason that wouldn't be able to happen?
With the lieutenants, I had another item. With officers and sergeants, I don't.
I'm sorry, but
with the lieutenants, our other item was promotion. With the officers and sergeants, there's no.
So there really wouldn't be any major.
So I would have the FRS language in the MOU for the advance of the dates. His issue was the city already had one other item, the promotional. With the officers and sergeants, I don't have another item. So you're asking me to strike that based on what Jeff had told me, but it's a different situation with the officers and sergeants.
But you were on the record like 2 meetings ago stating that you didn't have an item, and that particular item is part of the contract that has a timetable deadline to it that's not being met by the city.
Right. So I want that in the MOU like it did for the lieutenants. His point was you already have another item. Now, if you're telling me you want to accept that, then
why wouldn't we want to keep the lieutenants and the officers and sergeants moving and progressing at the same on that particular item?
It would be great if we could, but we are asking for that vote to be pushed out. So you guys are the biggest membership of it. They're only 9. We can renegotiate that with them when we open for next year.
When are you looking at doing that? Because that would be contingent upon closing or concluding these negotiations today.
When are we looking at?
As far as extending the time and what would take place as far as the vote?
We are looking to extend it to like January or February. Is that what you're asking?
Mhm.
Yeah.
How long would it take you to prepare that to see it in writing?
Um, Not very long, I don't think, because I'll just use the lieutenants. I just have to tweak the changes in the articles. It might take me like 20 minutes, maybe.
Would you be able to produce that before we TA and put to a vote Article 7? Because depending on the wording and language of that would,
When I create the TA, it's not gonna say the entire article, it's just gonna summarize. So like the lieutenants, I said a 3.5 general wage increase and 3% between the steps. So it just summarizes what's in the actual Article 7.
right,
But
but
if
you're
you wanna
saying you're
see
gonna
that-
add in the vote stuff to ours. Well, that would be impactful to the membership,
yeah.
so I would wanna
I can
see
give you
that.
that language. I can give you that, but the rest of the MOU won't have your Article 7 and with Article 12. You need to summarize those. So if you just want to see the FRS language, I can bring that in right now.
Yeah, if I could, please.
You want to TA this?
Not until I see that language.
Okay.
How many other articles have we TA'd?
One,
Just one
the,
of them.
We don't have the TA for lieutenants in here, do we? Oh, no, that would be in it though, the MOU. Let me see. Do you have the one that had the? Who's this one? Is that the previous one? Right there.
could you give us 5 minutes, please? Bill, can you just mute that versus we'll just stay a live video, just mute the audio?
I don't know if it's me.
Yep, just press the big one,
The big one.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
just one quick one.
Remember that.
All right, let me go to this.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, sorry, I just wanted to have that moment. Stacy, just as long as you're, obviously we don't have it in writing, I don't want to keep us here late tonight. But as long as you're verbally acknowledging the agreement wouldn't differ from this language, the one addition I would like, as long as you're in agreement with it, is it just says February 2024. Could you either put February 1, 2024, or just specify a specific date
Sure,
whenever you present the MOU to us,
sure.
just to sort of take out any kind of ambiguity. But you can pass that back.
So this is your one article you're bringing up.
If you want to look at that way, I guess so. We verbally talked about it, so I thought it was more just an agreement, but sure, if you want to look at that.
Okay. I am willing then to, with that agreement on the record verbally, TA Article 7 and prepare it for a ratification vote to the membership.
Do you want to sign all pages of it, or are you good with just signing the back page?
I'm good with just signing the, I'll defer to,
Did you just say all?
Yes.
Okay.
can I get that blue pen?
We still have to run it by the attorney.
Sorry, Stacy, I'm just double checking math here real quick. Bear with me and give me a second.
Stacey, just to clarify, you said that you guys are gonna be gone next week, but if we have a vote from our union result to you by Thursday the 31st, we will still make it to the meeting prior to the first pay period, correct?
Yes, because it'll be on September 18th, commission meeting.
Okay,
So what we'll do is with tentative agreements, we can make the agenda item and push it through, and then after the holiday on the 5th is our agenda review process, and we will know your vote. So either we pull it or leave it, and then I will need some rep to come in and sign the MOU. So once he has confirmed the vote and it passes, we're going to sign the MOU like as soon as we can on the 5th,
Right,
because then we have agenda review and we can put the signed document on. And we
okay,
should be on track for September 18th.
So, we don't necessarily have to have the vote by August 31st. It absolutely has to be done by September 5th.
We need to have our agenda on the agenda items by September 1, otherwise they're not reviewed.
Stacy.
So I have to submit it.
On step 4 of the sergeants, you have calculated 97,708. My math shows it should be, and again, it's not the end of the world, but my math shows it should be 97,801. Are you okay making that change?
And you're doing it from the current 94,404 times 3.5?
94,49.
No, 404.
What
Is the current
does-
schedule?
Oh, is there was this not a 3% in between? Is that maybe what happened?
Yeah, it's not. We never
Okay.
changed their schedule.
Okay. So that's what the difference was then. Okay.
These are signed.
Do you check the language on yours?
yeah, she decided that both parties are right.
Give that to her. Stacy, would it be possible for us to use your, or to have you just make a copy of one of these executed ones? I know one's for you and one's for us, but just that I can send one back with Bill to legal, and I can maintain a copy.
Well, if you want, I could just make you a copy of it and bring it to the meeting for you.
Okay, that'll work too. Actually, let's just get one here. Just with that cough, I don't know whether you're going to make the meeting or not.
You guys have a radio?
I do.
Crime to hear and see it.
JD's due for a life saving.
It's been a few years.
It's not gonna see how you visit this far.
I need my recertification on Thursday.
So when do you start your contract, Captain? When do you start negotiations?
What do you
Don't they negotiate contracts for you?
No, yeah. We're,
He has enough fun
Yeah.
sitting through ours.
I get to listen to all of these and
Cry yourself to sleep
remember the
every night.
past.
Stacy, could you just communicate with us? And honestly, I think we tried to do it last year, but I'm sure scheduling or something, it just didn't happen. Maybe we can circle the wagons in a month or two. Maybe like myself, maybe the exec board, and just come in and talk about what the next upcoming steps for the FRS is.
Oh, yeah,
Just that we're on
sure.
board with knowing who's coming in and what's administering what.
Mhm.
And then just sort of like an after action on this year's negotiations and anything we might want to correct or address or change for next.
So you just want kind of a working session on that for us?
Yes, please.
Shoot for November.
Yeah, that works. Maybe, early November.
If you want me there early November.
Maybe.
You do, you want to? Is that what you said?
I said if you want me there early November, I'm due at the end of the month.
Holidays coming, right?
The end of November, just to be.
November 27th.
Okay.
So you can eat for two on Thanksgiving. And then...
I'm having a turkey baby.
I mean, it's a good thing.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Never had hospital grade Thanksgiving dinner, but you know,
What's
the first
the, isn't the second baby
usually 6 dinner.
dinner, yeah. Were you on time for enrollment?
Sounds decent.
You want that one?
Were you on time?
Was it ready?
I'll take this one.
Well, give me the original.
Okay.
All of it.